Chapter 2. Battle in the forest. The forest at Konoha's northern border was dense, the towering trees casting long shadows in the waning afternoon light. The air was still, unnervingly quiet, with only the occasional rustle of leaves disrupting the silence. Naruto and Ino moved swiftly through the underbrush, their footsteps barely audible as they approached the area marked on the mission scroll. The two had been traveling for most of the day, their senses on high alert ever since crossing into the forested borderlands. Naru, as usual, was full of energy despite the long journey. His eyes scanned the trees, his hands occasionally twitching as if itching for action. "Man, this place gives me the creeps," he muttered under his breath, though there was a spark of excitement in his voice. "It's way too quiet." "I knew." Ino, walking beside him, nodded but remained focused. Her sharp violet eyes surveyed the surroundings with the precision of a seasoned Kunoichi. "Stay alert, Naru," she said quietly. "We don't know who or what we're dealing with out here. If rogue ninjas are operating this close to the border, they're probably skilled enough to avoid detection." Naruto grinned confidently. Yeah, well, they won't be able to avoid me when I show up. I'll take 'em down in no time." Ino shot him a sideways glance, her lips curving into a small smirk. "Just don't charge in headfirst and make things worse. We're here to gather information, remember? Not to start a war." Yeah, Naruto replied, waving a dismissive hand. "But if they start a fight, you can bet I'll finish it." Ino sighed, but didn't press the issue. She knew how Naruto worked by now. He was impulsive, brash, and sometimes reckless. But his heart was always in the right place. And despite his tendency to leap into action without much thought, he had proven time and again that he could handle himself in a fight. Still, Ino couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about this mission. The reports had been vague, suspicious movements, strange sightings, but no concrete evidence of what was happening. It was as if whoever, or whatever, was out here was deliberately masking their presence. They continued deeper into the forest, the trees growing thicker and the light dimming as the sun began to set. The air was cooler now, and a faint mist was starting to rise from the ground. "We're close," Ino whispered, stopping suddenly and holding up a hand. "I sensed chakra up ahead." Naruto halted beside her, his expression instantly serious. "How many?" Ino closed her eyes for a moment, focusing on the faint chakra signatures she could feel in the distance. 3. No, 4. They're not moving, but they're definitely there." Naruto's grin returned. All right, let's go say hello." Ino grabbed his arm before he could move. Wait. We don't know what we're dealing with yet. Let's approach quietly and assess the situation first." Naruto rolled his eyes, but nodded. Fine. But if they're hostile, I'm not holding back." Together, they moved forward cautiously, sticking to the shadows of the trees as they approached the source of the chakra signatures. The forest was thicker here, the mist curling around the base of the trees like ghostly tendrils. As they drew closer, the faint sound of voices reached their ears, though the words were indistinguishable. Ino motioned for Naruto to stop, and the two of them crouched behind a large tree, peering around it to get a better look at their targets. In a small clearing up ahead, 4 figures stood in a loose circle, their faces obscured by dark cloaks and masks. One of them seemed to be holding a scroll, and the others were watching him intently as he drew strange symbols in the dirt. "What's going on here?" Naruto whispered, narrowing his eyes. Ino frowned, her hands forming a few quick hand signs as she activated her sensory abilities. I don't know, but their chakra feels strange. It's unstable. Unstable? Naruto repeated, his voice hushed but curious. Like they're using some kind of weird jutsu? Maybe, Ino replied. I've never felt anything like it before. We need to figure out what they're doing. Naruto's hand moved to his kunai pouch, his fingers itching for action. I say, we barge in and stop whatever it is they're planning. Ino glanced at him, her expression torn. We can't just rush in. We don't know what kind of jutsu they're using. It could be dangerous. Before Naruto could respond, one of the cloaked figures spoke, his voice low and gravelly. It's ready. The ninja holding the scroll nodded and stood, preparing to make a hand sign. Ino's eyes widened. They're about to activate the jutsu. We have to stop them now. Finally, Naruto grinned, leaping out from behind the tree. Hey, whatever you guys are doing, it ends now. The masked ninjas whipped around, clearly startled, but they recovered quickly. The one holding the scroll narrowed his eyes behind his mask. Konoha! Ninjas, you're too late. Too late for what? Exactly? Naruto shot back, already forming hand signs for his signature move, Shadow Clone Jutsu, in an instant. A dozen clones appeared beside Naruto, all of them charging forward at the enemy while the real Naruto rushed head-on at the ninja with the scroll. Wait. Naruto, Ino called, but it was too late. He was already in the middle of the action. The rogue ninjas quickly scattered, each one taking on a group of Naruto's clones. The clearing erupted into chaos as the clones engaged the enemy, but Naruto's attention was focused on the one with the scroll. The rogue ninja was fast, dodging Naruto's initial attack and leaping back with surprising agility. You're not getting away! Naruto yelled, launching himself forward again. But before he could reach him, the ninja made a final hand sign. It's too late. Fool. A dark, swirling mass of chakra erupted from the scroll, forming into a black, pulsating orb. The air around it seemed to warp, and a strange pressure weighed down on the clearing. Naruto's eyes widened. What the? Suddenly, the orb shot forward, aimed directly at Ino, who had just joined the fight from the side. Her eyes went wide, and she instinctively raised her arms to defend herself, but the strange chakra was moving too fast. No! Naruto shouted, his body moving before his mind could even process the decision. In a blur of motion, he threw himself in front of Ino, taking the full brunt of the attack. The impact was immediate and overwhelming. The dark chakra enveloped Naruto, slamming into him with a force that sent him crashing into Ino. The two of them tumbled backward, hitting the ground hard as the energy from the jutsu crackled around them. Naruto! Ino gasped, struggling to push the heavy weight of his body off of her. Are you okay? Naruto groaned, his head spinning from the impact. Yeah. I think so. What the hell was that? Ino's heart was racing, but she quickly scanned Naruto's body for any visible signs of injury. There were no cuts or burns, no indication that the jutsu had caused any physical damage. I don't know, she said, frowning. It didn't seem to hurt you, but something's not right. Before they could investigate further, one of the rogue ninjas shouted, We're outnumbered! Retreat! The masked enemies vanished into the trees within seconds, their movements quick and practiced. Naruto and Ino, still shaken from the impact of the attack, could only watch as the figures disappeared into the mist. Naruto slowly sat up, rubbing the back of his head. Damn it! Damn it! They got away. Ino stood, her eyes scanning the forest for any sign of the retreating ninjas, but it was clear they weren't coming back. We should have been more careful, she muttered, frustration creeping into her voice. Naru, on his feet now, stretched his arms and shoulders, testing his body for any lingering effects from the jutsu. Yeah, but I feel fine. That jutsu was weird, though it didn't really hurt, but it knocked me back pretty hard. Ino walked over to him, her eyes narrowing in concern. You took that hit, head on. Are you sure you're okay? Naruto waved her off with a grin. Come on! Come on! I knew. Ino, you know me. I've taken way worse than that. He gave her a reassuring thumbs up, but Ina's expression remained skeptical. Still, we need to report this to the Hokage. Ino insisted. That jutsu was unlike anything I've ever seen. It could be dangerous. Naruto sighed, his excitement from earlier now tempered by the frustration of the rogue ninjas escaping. Yeah, you're right. Let's head back to Konoha. As they began their journey back to the village, neither of them noticed the faint, lingering trace of chakra that clung to Naruto's body, an invisible mark left by the unknown jutsu. But for now, they believed the worst was behind them.